right, welcome back. It's time for us to go into our communities and to find out what is happening. Now, there are, every once in a while, there's some very harrowing things that happen in our communities that, leaves a lot to be desired in terms of, you ask yourself that in our spaces, what are parents doing? What are we as individuals doing to take care of our children and make sure that people don't, kids don't, find themselves in unfortunate circumstances. Now, something has happened in the central region, in Ewutuseya. A little boy has lost his life because he drank a substance, okay, that was suspected to be palm wine. Now, our colleague Calvin Stete has joined us on the line, and we're going to find out from him exactly what it is that has happened and why it's raising so much concern. Calvis, good morning. Hello, Calvis.
Yeah, hello, David.
Yes, good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Good morning, David.
Yes. Now, a little boy has passed on. Tell us the story. What is it exactly that happened?
Well, David, for those who don't know, Autu Bansama is just, let's say when you are heading from Cape Coast, when you get to Autu Breku, just when you get to Autu Breku, which is on the main stretch of the Accra Cape Coast stretch, there is a bypass that connects to a lot of smaller communities in that Autu entity. Autu Bansama is in that area. This is a small community. So yesterday, the news broke that there is this little boy, an 8-year-old boy, who is in the community and was going to, these little boys sometimes go to farm to help their parents. So upon their return, they went into a farm belonging to another individual where there was palm wine, which was readily available. They normally get the palm wine from the farm tree. So these boys saw the palm wine just placed under the tree. So they went there, and there were 3 in number, but one of them said no, he was going to take a piece of it. That is the 8-year-old boy. He went in, took a container, and then took some of the palm wine. He drank it. Just after some few minutes, he began to feel some stomach pain. And then his colleagues had to rush to the village to call for help. They came and then they saw, the community members came and then they saw the boy lying unconscious. You could hear that he was drunk, but you could see that behind the drunkenness there was pain. So the parents decided to rush him to the hospital. It was there that they got the realization that he had taken in poison, DDT to be precise. So they were wondering how come the boy could take in DDT while they are taking in palm wine. That was when they realized that the owner of the palm wine had put the poison in because people normally come to drink his palm wine. Anytime he tries to get them, he comes and then some people have come to drink it. So he decided to put it to actually apprehend the individual who's been doing that. So this is what happened here in Autu Bansama, David.
Okay, so at what point was it determined that DDT was in the drink that the boy took?
Well, the police came in and then the sample was taken to the hospital. That was when they detected that there were samples of DDT in the palm wine that the boy took. So they eventually arrested the farmer who was who owns that farm. So he's currently at the police station trying to answer questions as to why. He should put DDT in a drink, and that community is a public thing where the farm is just by the roadside where persons pass by. So anybody at all can just rush in and take some because this is palm wine. But the farmer is also saying that, he's been working, he's been doing this job for some years, and people come into his farm to take this palm wine without even asking for permission. So he sort of putting these DDT inside to teach those people a lesson. But unfortunately for him, this is way beyond that, David.
Yeah.
Right. So where is the farmer now?
He is currently at the Ewutu Breku police station. He was detained yesterday to answer questions on why he could put the DDT into a drink. I spoke to the mother of the boy. She's totally distraught that such an elderly person can do this because this is a community with children who would at any time go into the farms to be. Once a while they go farms to take things that do not belong to them, but to the extent of putting DDT in the palm wine for persons to drink, it's something they just can't understand.
Right. Thank you very much, Calvis.
Thank you, Prema. Well, but then, Prema, there was also another incident in Pete Kakraba where a 6-year-old boy was electrocuted in that Pete Kakraba community. It's not far from Awutu Breku.
Yes.
So this individual who owns the container shop who sells groceries, according to him, he usually break into his container shop and then make away with some of the groceries. So he decided to electrocute the container itself. So normally in the evenings when he closes, he electrocutes the container to ensure that nobody comes closer to the container. Unfortunately for this five-year-old boy who was playing along the container area at around 7 p.m., he just went closer to the container to touch the container. Unknowing for him, he was electrocuted. So he got electrocuted and died there and then. That incident is also before the Awutu Breku police station. We're still following up to see what is going to happen, Prema.
Was there any warning sign on the container to warn people that there's danger here?
Well, there is no warning sign. According to some of the people in the community, this container normally stops people. You know, people who go closer to it get the feel that this is electrocuted. And they have been complaining several times to the owner of the container shop to take the power out of the container anytime he closes. But I mean, he will not listen to any of these. There was this incident where an elderly woman almost died as a result of that. This was just after a few days, and then the boy also got closer and then died. The woman was electrocuted, but he didn't die. And so the community members decided that the following day, they were going to really walk up to the man and try and take a decision to let him take the power from the container. It was just that evening that this little boy got closer to it and then died.
Where exactly is the container situated? Is it on the outskirts? Is it right in the middle of the community where there are other shops?
Okay, the container is placed right on the shoulder. You know, the community has this a small bypass, you know. So the container is placed just right on the shoulder of the road in the community. So, I mean, when it's evening, the little ones come out to play. And this 5-year-old boy, as innocent as he is, he didn't know that this thing was electrocuted. He got closer to it, and then he was electrocuted, and then he died instantly.
So the container has been electrified, and that people know about this?
Yes, the container has been electrified.
Okay.
And then people know about it. The community members have prompted the owner of the container that the container is electrified, so indeed he should take it out. But he wouldn't take any of that.
So where is the owner of the container to?
The owner of the container, after the incident, came in with the police. I'm sure he heard that the container had killed someone.
Yeah.
So he went to the police station himself to report, and then he came in with the police, because if he had come there, they would have beaten him. The community members were so angry that they would have attacked him. So he came there, and then with the police to come and actually find out what had happened. So later the police arrested him and then took statement. He is also being processed for court. So we are hoping to see him being in court to answer charges on why he electrified the container.
All right. Thank you very much, Calvis.
Thank you, Frema.
So,
what a morning.
Yeah. So, Frema, these things happen because we've lost faith in our institutions. You know,
it doesn't justify anything.
No, it doesn't. But I'm just saying that this is actually why it's happening, because
you see,
the first so in both cases is an issue of people feeling that thieves come again, and they have no recourse to solving the problem of thieves coming.
But we also don't have it whether these people have actually gone to make any kind of formal complaints. Do you get it? And you know, sometimes in areas like that, I know the Fete area very well. I know the Breku area too very well. So in some of these areas, it's not like there's so much exposure, for want of a better word, okay? And so people feel that we are in a local community. I put my palm wine somewhere, somebody is going to take it. You know, this kind of, then I've poisoned it, or I will curse people, I will do this. You get where I'm coming from? So the police station will not even be the first place that they will even think to go to. So if, for instance, you tell me that I've made several complaints at the police station, nothing is being done. So I took things into my own hands. In a way, it even kind of, you know, it doesn't really justify why you should go kill somebody. But at least we can also establish the fact that this is a desperate person who wants solution and is not getting. But if we can't establish this in any way, and then you feel that somebody is taking my palm wine, so I'm going ahead to poison
so
it.
What he's done is that he's tapped the wine for the day. He's taken away the bulk of it, and he's left a little bit and poisoned that one.
Exactly.
So that it's like the person who has been stealing my thing, you will come and drink this one. And unfortunately, a little boy passes through the farm, sees the palm wine and says, "Hey, let me taste something and let me."
This is murder, straight up. You go to jail.
So I believe that the police are on top of the issues. I really do hope that there's a speedy, conclusion to this situation, because we cannot go about like that. You see, even the laws of our country does not permit you to, for example, when you electrify a fence, you're supposed to state,
of course,
on the fence, indicate, beware, this fence is electrified.
I mean, once there's danger, you need to warn people.
You need to warn people. You cannot just electrify and just leave it.
And simply because somebody will break into my shop, secure your shop well. Yeah. There are other shops there that people do not break into.
Yeah.
And I mean, for you to be able to go electrify the whole place, why don't you secure your locks properly?
Yeah, and it's not the way to secure. Electrifying is not the way to secure.
At all. With the intent that I want to kill somebody, I want to punish somebody. You can't just do that. You cannot. Same way with the palm wine. You can't just say that. That is why the police is there. It is not your job. Because assuming the family of the children also decide that, okay, now you've killed our child, and so we are also taking the laws into our hands. We're also coming after you. What will happen?
No, that's the anarchy. That's
exactly. That is it.
Yeah, that's the anarchy and the chaos we were talking about earlier. So I think it's very clear what's going on here, right? People, out of their frustration or whatever, have premeditated to kill. Yeah, that's what it is. And say, look, whoever it is, we will kill you. In the case of the electrocution, in the case of the poisoning, whoever it is that is doing whatever, we will kill you. Unfortunately, what happens is that you are now opening up to anybody randomly. Look, if this electrified container, okay, had, let's say, it's sitting in a place where there was a flood, the entire pool of water around the container would be electrified.
Yes.
Yeah. So now can you imagine the chaos that's going to come out after that? I don't think that the police need to spare even a moment on this matter, totally. All right. So let's take a look at and listen to what the auntie said in speaking to our correspondent, the auntie of the little boy who just passed.
Senior. Bismarck.
Obefia ne ho beto no ye anyeye nti omo ma ye grata sa da se duro ana se winiba by omo ma ye wie ye befa ka ye bibia wie no ye ndu obo ntrase ache okroma o dan na chi wo ye ya.
Okay. Oh, okay.
This case ye kwa na omo si se na wewu no se ya mfa na nkodu baby a omo kan se ye mfa ni nkodu no ye nsa mfa ni nko na doctor ni proof say na ye hu nti omo na omo ma ye hu say poison nti oni so be ye surgeons nti omo be hwie nsefo no omo de koye bibia na ye poison ya kanwa entu yi dane ya kanwa entu yi dane mi wo fe na ye be frame say my sister ni ba no o tete hwe aye ti say obi a wanu nsa abu nti mi mehwe me ba na oda onu mukura ontumi na me de me peja no me de ne call hospital nti ye go ye kodu o mo ye ni bibia we no mo si akwala na akodi wakɔ no poison na ne de omo be hwe ne ye bibia poison eduru a ye de be ma na e wo se obefe a ne ho beto no ye ya anye ye nti omo ma ye grata sa da se eduro ana se winiba ba omo ma ye wie ye be fa ka ye bibia wie no ye ndu obo ntrase ache okromo o dan na chi wo ye ya
Okay. Oh, okay.
this case ye kwa na omo si se ni awewu no se ya mfa na nkodu baby a omo kan se ye mfa ni nkodu no ye nsa mfa ni nko na doctor ni improve se na ye hu nti omo na omo ma ye hu se ye poison nti oni so be ye searching nti omo be hwie nsefo no omo de kwa ye bibia na ye poison
All right, so there you have it. Very, very unfortunate. All right, and we always say it, and on this show too we talk about it. The fact that you are aggrieved doesn't mean that you can take the law into your own hands and do what you like, because the law will come for you when there's anything untoward, like in this situation, and of course also with the 6-year-old boy who was electrocuted as well. That story is also on citinewsroom.com. Incidentally, you can go there and read it.
But you know, David, in as much as we are talking about issues like these, people can't take the laws into their hands, you know. Mothers and fathers, parents, family members should also really be
more attention to their children.
Careful in handling their children. You know, sometimes you walk around, people are selling stuff, you see a child cross the street, run across, the mother is sitting somewhere, or the caregiver is sitting somewhere, and this could be very dangerous. If you're not careful, by the time you get up, by the time you know, disaster had already struck. You know, so I think that is very, very important for parents and caregivers to at all times know where their children are, you know, because if for nothing at all, forget about the poisoning. Why should such a young person decide that I'm going to take palm wine? Do you get where I'm coming from? There can be accidents. I mean, anything can happen. There are times that maybe a child might think it is water. They go take it. But we need to pay attention. At the end of the day, whoever committed this heinous crime is going to be dealt with, but you have lost a child.
You've lost a child.
No matter what happens to the person, your child is not coming back. And so I think that is we are in very bad times, very difficult times. People are extremely wicked. So we also may want to be extra attentive with handling children.
Now, I think it's important. You see, the thing is, I have found, and I don't know what is responsible for this, but I have found that, like in my neighborhood, not far from here, I find that when I'm driving, there's a lot of, you know, containers by the roadside, right? And there are little kids always loitering into the road, you know, and sometimes I ask myself, I said, so parents, why are we not a little more strict in terms of restraining our children? You know, because I think about my daughter, and I think about when she was a little kid. They're very flighty. So before you realize they're running, they've seen something colorful. They're going. You know, so we need to be. It's almost as though, like you said, Bibia fine. You know, so it's like we just allow
and the fact that you see the fact that they went to school today, came back safely,
doesn't mean every day
is going to be like that. You know, sometimes you see two children close from school going home all by themselves, and I'm like, so how do these children do it? And sometimes you realize that.
And they are all, let's say, the
eldest one is like 8. Oh, how did you know? You know, the eldest one is 8, and then you have maybe a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, and these are the ones who are taking care of.
Shepherding the rest, who are 3 and 4.
They themselves need shepherds.
Yes.
But we've left the work for them. So sometimes, and you see, the roads are very busy. So you drive on the Achimota Road, you drive on the Tesano Road, and you see these children by the roadside wanting to cross over. And it's very scary. So I think that, look, we need to pay attention to some of these things, because one day you might be home and hear a very unfortunate news. And then you would realize that I wish I had done things differently, but it would be way too late. So please, let's pay attention. It's good to make money. It's good to go work, go make business. By the end of the day, we are doing all these for our children.
For these same kids.
What will happen if those children are no more? So please. And don't think that everybody is like you. I keep saying this. Look, you will not poison a drink. You will not go electrify your container, but someone will. somebody will.
Yeah.
And these are children. They
Teach
never
them,
know, you know.
Teach them not to touch something that you've not given to them.
Exactly.
You know, teach them to
Don't
function
take
like that.
somebody's food.
Don't touch anybody's food.
Drink.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember those times growing up, your mother would tell you that when you go to somebody's house, don't even eat.
Yeah.
Even if they force you, don't eat it. If you eat it, you'll be punished at home.
Yeah.
So how much more finding something out there, randomly,
out there,
and then
just
they take this. You know, it could have been anything.
Yeah.
It could have been anything.
Yeah.
And now it was poison.
Yeah.
Very, very sad, very unfortunate, but let's do better.
Even on that note, Frema, you know, we even say, for example, that when you go to an event, and if for whatever reason you are unable to cover the drink you're drinking,
exactly,
and you get up to walk
Don't
away,
come
when
back
you
for
come
it.
back, do not touch it.
Yes.
You see, there are some basic principles in life that we have to learn to live by.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not because you are overly superstitious. No, you're just cautious.
Just be careful. You
Be
can't
careful,
be too careful.
because you see, it's like if the parents of this child had taught the child from infancy, as the child began to walk and touch things, do not touch that which does not belong to you. It's not been given to you by mommy. It's not been given to you by daddy. Don't touch it. This child will be alive by now. If they had taught the child that, you know. So parents, we have a lot of responsibility. There is pressure. It's real. There is pressure. But like Frema said, the work that you're doing is for these children. So what's the point when you lose them because you didn't teach them the right things? To just be a little more cautious and careful.